Hey, it's Amanda from The Fundamental Home, and today is Wednesday, and that means that it's Worthy Wednesday. And on Worthy Wednesday, I just like to talk to you about just things that I'm learning about myself in terms of being worthy and feeling worthy of my own attention and affections. Because a lot of times as moms and women, we give our attention and affection to everyone else, but we don't give ourselves the same kind of respect that we give everyone else. And something that's been on my mind this last week or so has been forgiveness. We're wearing the Fitbit, right? And I have mine on. It's early, so I really haven't had very many steps today at all, just barely over 100. Because I immediately got up, got ready, and grabbed the camera, and I head right out on Wednesday, because I just like to talk to you first thing. And but one thing the Fitbit has taught me, believe it or not, it's not just the physical things that it's taught me. It's actually taught me a little bit about my emotional health. One thing that I've noticed is that when I'm not feeling very good about myself, that I tend to be more sedentary, that I tend to not walk as much or do as much. It's kind of like I just kind of want to, I know this is going to sound strange, but ignore myself. Does that sound right? I guess what it is, and this is what I've been noticing when I've been talking about forgiveness, is that I don't know about you, but I'm a really good forgiver. Like, my husband has told me before that it's one of his favorite things about me, that I am not the kind of person who, when he has done something wrong or has offended me, that I, take time and dig it in and really make him feel guilty about it. If he apologizes, I drop it. It's done. We don't need to talk about it. He doesn't owe me anything. It's done. And I am such an easy forgiver. In terms of, dealing with people that I love, I just don't feel the need to press on them. I love people. And the people, particularly the people close to me in my life, they're really special to me. And I don't want to ruin those relationships by just being negative and not being understanding of their faults, because the truth is that I want them to understand mine and love me anyway. And we actually talked about it in one of our Bible studies. He does talk about how I'm a good forgiver. But one of the things that I've noticed about myself is that I'm really not a good forgiver of my own self. When I make mistakes, which we all do, right? I really dwell on my own mistakes, and I have trouble. It's not that I have trouble accepting my faults, because I think that I certainly recognize my own faults, but I have trouble just extending to myself the grace that's required to let go of my faults. And so what happens is when something happens and I feel that I've done something wrong, rather than kind of just say, okay, I've done wrong, and I just apologize to myself in a way, I guess. I don't know how that would work, but just kind of apologize to myself in a certain way and just get over it like I would anybody else. I dwell on it, and it really gets me down. And it shows up in areas of my life like it shows up in areas of my life that you wouldn't necessarily think have to do with forgiveness, but I actually have seen it now that I have this Fitbit on me, and I'm noticing patterns in my life that I would not have noticed before, just because we're keeping track of things. So I've noticed, obviously, that I walk less when I am kind of down on myself for whatever reason. I've also noticed that I eat differently. I'm sure that you guys have noticed this too, that when I feel bad about myself, and it's usually guilt-ridden, right? One of the things that I do is I immediately want to eat something that I like. I know that, why do we do that? I don't know. And of course, like a lot of people, one of the things that I immediately go to is chocolate, which I'm not saying it's the worst thing I could have, but it's just funny that all the rest of the time I go without it and I feel perfectly fine. But the second I'm kind of down and feel like I've made a mistake, I immediately want to just sit on the couch with like some chocolate. and I really think it's related, just through this whole process and noticing patterns, I really think it's related to guilt. I really think it's one of those ways that I try to comfort myself. And I know that people who have done health related journals have talked about how it's really good to sit down and journal and make notes of your feelings and how they impact you in terms of your health. Because you find that you fall into these patterns and you can't really break them unless you recognize what the pattern is. So a lot of times what they recommend is that if you see yourself beginning to go into this pattern, that you find a new way to deal with it that's a healthy way. And so I'm kind of at that point that I'm just recognizing it, and I'm thinking, okay, what kind of healthful changes can I make when I'm feeling this way about myself? Well, obviously, I think one of the first things I've been trying to do is, rather than sit, I really try to force myself to walk, because believe it or not, exercise really has made me feel better about myself in a lot of different ways. And I don't think it's just the external. I think that there is some internal difference when you're getting up and moving and exercising. Your body is functioning better, and that actually helps me to feel better about myself internally. But in terms of food, it's a little bit harder, because those trigger foods, those things that we want to grab when we're sad, that is so built into my system. Like, those are the things that, we got when we were kids. I mean, you're talking, almost 40 years of experience. Every time that I was sad about something, I would get a treat. So that's actually a little bit harder. Not saying impossible, just, trying to change that instead of, I'm sad, I need to work on this actual feeling, to say, okay, I'm going to work on the feeling, but I still need a chocolate bar. You really have to recognize those things and work at them. So I'm in that process right now. But I just thought it was important to talk to you about how we actually bind ourselves up with these emotions that we don't even realize are impacting our physical health. And a lot of it has to do with how we treat ourselves, and the fact that we aren't willing to give ourselves the same respect that we give to other people. I would never, ever get so angry at someone or just annoyed with someone and their behavior that I would force someone to just sit in a corner and just say, sit there and just eat something. I just would never say that. I would never, if I had an issue with someone, I would really try to, I would immediately apologize, and apologize profusely. and I would hope that they would accept it immediately, because that's that I would do, or try to do. But, I just don't treat myself that way. And so it's really something that I've noticed that I'm trying to work on, just acknowledging that I have faults and not making such a big deal about them. It's really bound up in my perfectionist tendencies, that I just want everything right all the time. And when it's not, I just can't deal with it. But I can't believe it's impacting my health. I would have never made the connection had it not been for the numbers and the Fitbit. So that's really just, I thought it was interesting. So I don't know if you guys out there with your Fitbits are noticing not only the physical impact, but the emotional impact, and noticing those little teeny details and how they impact your ability to be physically healthy. I don't know. If you are noticing those things, let me know in the comment section. Because I think it's valuable for people out there who are thinking about making this health journey, when they start tracking things, to be able to start to notice those patterns so they can make healthy changes in their life. Not just the physical changes, but the internal changes as well. Because that's kind of what we're talking about here at Worthy Wednesday, that it's not all physical. There's a lot of internal things that impact the physical. And we're not ever really going to make permanent changes to the physical unless we deal with the internal. the emotional. So anyway, thanks for being with me on Worthy Wednesday. I hope that it kind of opened your eyes. Maybe there's some area in your life that is impacting your physical health. And I hope that you will start paying attention to those and noticing them and trying to work out making those changes so that we can move forward and just be happier, healthier people. And I'm glad to be sharing this journey with you, and I hope that you will spend time with me again next Wednesday. I also want to remind you guys that today is the last day of my giveaway for Dirt Patch Heaven. I'm going to link up here to that video. Julie at Dirt Patch Heaven has had some struggles because her husband has had some physical health issues and has been unable to work, and so I wanted to support her. I know that lots of you may feel like you want to support her but not have any financial ability to do so. So I thought what we could do and work together is that I would offer you a set of her books, and in order to win those books you could just share your favorite videos of her. So you'll find all the details to that on that video that I just shared, and just go there, hear all the rules for the giveaway, and then you can enter and win Julie's set of books. And in order to do that, you just share her videos and get her message out there, and that will be helpful to her and a blessing to her, even if you can't help her financially at this time. So thanks so much for being with me again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.